Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Old Guy Farms Single Player Challenge. We are in episode 64, which means it is the sixth day of, or not the sixth day, the fourth day of autumn on year 3. We only have 9 days left in this challenge. Hey Eli, how are you doing? So we're going to go ahead and jump on in here. We've got, guess what, more mowing to do. We're going to mow field 11 today and hammer that one out. Waiting for it to load, waiting for it to load. All right. We got hail in the forecast today. Well. Alrighty. Alright, first thing we need to do is get to our greenhouses. Those poor guys' greenhouses have stopped producing. They're out of manure. And it is dark now. First day of autumn, or not first day of autumn, but late mid-autumn, and it is dark at 6 in the morning. So just the other day on ModHub, this particular telehandler was put up in the ModHub for all platforms. So if you like this little telehandler, you can now easily get it at the Farming Sim ModHub in-game or over at farmingsimulator.com. There's a few subtle differences between this particular version and that one. Most notably being that, let's see here. Oh. I can open and close the door on this one, as well as a few other things that are not a part of that one, simply because the one that's on the ModHub is available for all platforms. Let's take a look at the forecast for winter. So we have 2 days of rain, and then we have sun and rain for day 5. Hey Henry, how are you doing? We got some bandwidth problems tonight. Hopefully it's not too bad for you guys. I think it completely lost signal there for a little bit. So I think we almost got 3 years through the challenge, and I finally figured out how these how much these greenhouses hold. I think some of that's because I wasn't paying attention, but When they're completely empty, they hold 3,000 liters, so with this bucket we can do 1.5 greenhouses per load. And really, there aren't too many more times that we're going to be filling these greenhouses. Before we're done with them. Let's see here. That one's full, so then this one will be all right. Getting a little bit of daylight. Go ahead and get rid of that. Yep, we don't have to worry about doing maintenance, I don't think, on anything at this point. In fact, other than needing to possibly refuel something, we're not going to need that maintenance trailer anymore, the service trailer. Eli wants the beacon light on for some reason. There you go. Just a few more to go. Just a few more loads. The version of this in the mod hub also doesn't have the creepy guy driving it. Turn the beacon off now. As you've probably come to realize, I don't use the beacons very often, if at all. How you doing, Jonathan? So we left bales on the ground yesterday too because I think it was raining and cloudy. We couldn't see a darn thing. So we've got to get those bales picked up before we mow that other field. I'm doing pretty good this evening. It was, I don't know about where you all are, but we've had a really nice, cool last few days. At least cool for August. It's only been in the upper 70s to low 80s. Get over here to the greenhouses. Do our water up. Yep, you don't need maintenance for 20 days. I know we maintained the I know we did maintenance on the Massey when we did this truck. So we will be good for the rest of the challenge. Yeah, it's been kind of unseasonably cool. We didn't get very many bales picked up. Look at all those bales still over there. We're going to slow these trains down. In fact, we might just leave those bales there and pick them up later. We won't be doing anything else with those fields. Alright, 2 more. go ahead and get over here and get over to the other field and just start, just go ahead and get started. Like I said, there's no reason for us to need to pick these bales up because we're not going to be doing anything with the field here. There'll be no need to fertilize it because there's not going to be another harvest off of that field. And we'll just pick the bales up at a later date. Alright, we're going to try we'll bale at 7 or mow at 7 miles an hour. We'll see if the baler keeps up, how long he keeps up for. Should get a fair number of bales off of this field. I think it's a full fertilization. So guys, I wanted to mention, I don't know if you all have seen this post or not, but I saw it. Wait, is that not? That's not fully grown, is it? I thought this field was fully grown. That is not fully grown grass, so we're gonna ditch this field once we get over here to the railroad tracks, and we're gonna run over to the main farm, and we're gonna mow that because this grass is not fully grown yet. No real need to cut grass that's not fully grown. We should see it go through a growth stage tomorrow once it goes into late autumn. And once it goes into late autumn, then it should be fully grown. We'll just wait on our baler. So what I was saying was, I don't know if you all have seen this post, but over at the FSUK forums, I saw a post by the Mappers Paradise group that they are going to be putting together a community charity map for cancer research. So basically, Mappers Paradise, as well as the realism folks, the realistic seasons folks, and Dural, the guy behind the more realistic mods, they are working together to put together a map that will be going out on the, I guess, the Giants mod hub. And any proceeds, if you, I don't know if you're aware necessarily, but maps that are on the Giants mod hub, those map authors do get paid for downloads, and depending on what the rating is of the map, they'll get apparently paid different rates. So basically with this map, once it goes into the mod hub in game, any proceeds that are collected from the downloads will be donated to cancer research. In the post, they've named, I think, 4 cancer charities, not charities, but maybe cancer research organizations. So I thought that was a good cause, and was something worth mentioning. So if you're interested, there's a post over at FSUK. That's where I saw it. There's also, I copied that post and put it over at PCSG, and also over at the 3 Dudes Gaming Network. So you can go to any one of those sites, and basically it'll be the exact same post. You can check it out. So this grass is fully grown, so we'll just go ahead and use this grass, mow here instead. Eli's asking if that map will be on console. I think they did say it was going to be for all platforms, but again, I'd say go ahead and check out the posting if you want more details. But I'm pretty sure that they said it was going to be for, they were shooting for all platforms. So I was thinking about, this is the last time we're going to cut this field. Last time we're going to cut grass here at the main farm. Because day 5 we're going to be counting on having a full grass growth over on field 11. And day 6, no matter what the grass growth looks like, we're going to mow that on the big field. And I was thinking about those wood chips earlier today, and the fact that we got snow forecasted for 2 days of winter. I was thinking about maybe the first day of winter to run around and pick up those wood chips and stick them under this shed over here at the farm. In the event that we happen to have a great demand, while there's snow on the ground, it's going to make it kind of difficult to get to those wood chips. So I thought about collecting those wood chips now. And let's see what the price of wood chips is right now. It's probably not so great. 120 and dropping. So I thought about basically collecting those wood chips while we could still get to them, and then we'd have them in the event that there was a great demand. And if that is the case, we do have a great demand when we have snow on the ground, then our planning will have paid off. So Eli asks, do you know why there is a limit to how many bales you can make on a console? I know that there is a post over at the Farming Sim forums as to why there is a slot limit on consoles. And I would assume that the bale limit has something to do with basically memory allocation and performance, is my guess, because each bale in the game basically has to be drawn, it has to be referenced, the game has to basically keep track of it. And when you've got a bunch of bales, then that could be a pretty significant load on the system as far as keeping track of where the bales are, and drawing them and everything like that. So I think most of the bale limit is probably a result of wanting to make sure that the console experience is as best as possible. But there is a detailed posting as to why there is a slot limit, which I think is a little odd. But again, if it's all in the if it's all for the sake of performance, then I kind of understand. So our helper gave up. We got too far away from him. I wonder if that bale is actually going to end up going out of the gate. Nope, doesn't look like he'll make it. Looks like he's going to get stuck. Because I guess we'll go back to the bale question. Because on the PC, we have a file in our save game called the vehicles.xml file. It's basically an XML file that has an entry for every player-owned item, and the entry basically has the configuration specifications for the item. So basically, if it's a tractor that is color selectable, and you can have other options, there would basically be an entry for each option to basically tell the game every time it booted up what you as the player owned. Placeable buildings also go in that file, and bales show up there as one entry per bale. So when you're loading your save game, at least at the PC level, it's reading that vehicles.xml file and basically rendering each entry as the game loads up. So in our case, if we have, let's say we have 800 silage bales, while we're at that game loading screen, the game engine is basically rendering all of those bales, and part of the entry in the vehicles XML file is location coordinates. So basically, when you boot up, everything is where you left it. So I suspect, you know, maybe some of that limit is based on loading times. You wouldn't want to sit there while your save game loads for 10 minutes, for example. Hey, MLH Gamer. Alrighty. So we're about done this field. Go ahead and set this guy up to follow us around. And we'll get this little field hammered out. Like I said, the goal would be to mow all of these, all of the area around the main farm today. 3 o'clock. So we should be able to get these fields done. Like I said, there's no real rush to pick these bales up either, so we can concentrate maybe on the first day of winter to maybe go around and pick up the wood chips and then pick up bales. That might be what we do the first day of winter. Hey Darren, how you doing? So again, we're going fairly slow at the Big M in hopes that the baler will keep running for a longer time period. So I have to apologize for the stream. I'm thinking that it doesn't look so great. I've got fluctuating bandwidth output on OBS, but YouTube's been telling me that the stream health has been low, so speaking of wood chips in great demand, there's one right there. How you doing, Crick Hick? I haven't seen any videos coming up in my recommended list from you recently. Have you been taking a break? Let's take a look at the 149. I did not see how long that... oh, he gave up. So are you back online now, or are you on mobile or something watching? They're coming out on a Sunday? Huh. So if you've been offline for a while, then I don't know if you know what we are up to here. We are doing a single player seasons challenge to see how much money we can earn over a period of 3 game years. We are nearly done. In fact, we have, including today, this game day, we have 9 days left in the challenge for us. There's half dozen or so people doing the challenge. So we're going to finish early. The challenge doesn't have to be done until November 1st. But we're going to finish it up early and kind of give everyone a benchmark number to hit. Well, actually, if the map, I don't know if the map is still linked up under that link or not. At one point in time, it was pulled back from public release, but it might be linked on that website. I haven't looked. I haven't looked in quite a while. But yeah, it's just a Goldcrest Valley edit, but it's a very nice edit. The main farm's been changed around. Not all of the sell points, but the sell points on Goldcrest Valley that were just dump stations that didn't really have anything working for them other than a dump site. They are all kind of been worked up to look like realistic businesses. Okay, so it's at least available there. The sheep were brought over here to the main farm, and then the pigs and the cows are their own independent farms with independent silos. Yeah, you're downloading it barely, I suspect, with your current speeds. The challenge has been fun, and it's definitely been a learning experience for I think all of the people involved. With seasons being still fairly new, and with the fact that most people that have been playing seasons only play a map for either a portion of a year or maybe one full calendar year on seasons. Playing a map for 3 consecutive years really does give you a little bit different perspective and thought process, because somewhat at the end of the first year you're planning what you need to do and what you're going to do into the second year, and then as you get through the second year you're basically growing and expanding and you know, taking advantage of what you were able to do in year 1, as well as looking forward to year 3. So I think seasons play really comes to life when you start talking about doing things or start planning out multiple years. And then, as a kind of a expansion on this, I've started a 24-day seasons map where we're going to play 24-day seasons and see how that goes. The way it's working out so far, it's working out pretty good. Of course, I'm only in day 9 of spring, but the way I look at it, I think the longer the season, the easier it is to play. Because what we've seen with this challenge, since you're doing 6 days at 15 times speed, sometimes it's pretty hard to get everything done in one day. And when you only have 6 days in a season, sometimes it's pretty hard to do anything that you want to get done. And you know, if you go with cows require a fair bit of work, and they require a whole lot of food. And at 6 days, it's pretty hard to keep 200 cows fed, or keep a large herd of any animal fed, to the point that you know, anything over maybe 100 animals of any one type is probably about the max that you're going to be able to do with 6-day seasons at 15 times speed. But an interesting aspect with seasons is that your animals will eat the exact same amount of food over the course of a season, regardless of season length. So if you're crazy and you play 3-day seasons and you have 100 cows, you're going to be feeding them a massive amount of food every 3 days because they're doing because they're basically eating an entire season's worth of food every 3 days. If you take the same 100 cows, he's too far behind now. All right. If you take the same 100 cows and you play 6 days, you basically feed half as much as you were in 3 days every 3 days. So since it's half as much, they're still eating basically the exact same amount. At 12 days, you basically feed them half again as much. And at 24 days, you feed them again half again as much. To where if you were, let's say you were barely able to keep 200 cows fed over 6-day seasons. But with 24-day seasons, keeping 400 cows fed is easy. Because just the amount of food that they consume over the season is lower every 3 days, and you have so many extra days to produce that food. So other than the time commitment and the fact that a game year is 96 days, and I really wouldn't suggest playing 24-day seasons on anything other than 15 times clock speed, because the days are going to go by way too long. You're going to get way too much done per day, and you'll probably be at day 7 and then be done and have like 19 game days left to do nothing over that particular season other than feed your animals. Let's get this guy bailing. Let's try to get all this grass off the field before midnight so we don't lose any of it. Well, maybe your internet is knows it's being replaced tomorrow, so it's trying to go out with a bang. Well, I'm glad you like it. Where have you, what areas have you looked at so far? The pig farm and the cow farm are really nice. They've been completely reworked. Oh, Gomez Ridge Acres. Yeah, he reworked that one because on the original Goldcrest, that sell point was basically just a dump site. It was like a building and a dump site. It made absolutely no sense. The cow area has a little meadow beside it that has grass, so you can use that for your cows. But 3 years at 6 days is 72 game days. And if you think about a 24-day year, 72 game days only gets you to the end of autumn in the first year. But at 6 day seasons, you're through 3 whole calendar years at that point. Probably, well, other than the icons being moved, that's there. It's just this, I guess, maybe. Alright. So we're going to think about, might as well start thinking about the end of the stream here. We only got, what, 3 more windrows of grass. Oh, back up, back up, back up. There we go. We only got 3 more windrows of grass. It is almost 9 o'clock game time, so let's see, we only got about 12 more real life minutes before tomorrow. So we'll probably bail these 3 windrows up and then call it a stream, call it a game day. Hey, Duck Zorly, how are you doing? How's the Sunday weather, Duck? I'm just curious what I can expect tomorrow. I'm going to go watch the Abomination video right after I get done this stream. You're basically in your winter now. Heading into spring, I guess, right? We are in our typical dog days of summertime, but here where I am, it's been nice and cool the last few days comparatively to what it could have been. I think today it was like the mid-70s, which was quite a shock. There were plenty of families out in the parks, roaming around, doing things. How'd you lose the videos? Yes, it does. This is definitely Snowmass prepared. Oh. So it crashed while you were recording the episodes or something? I don't know if it takes pig. I know it's for your crops. It should take any crop that the pigs will eat. I don't know if it's necessarily also able to take pig food. It definitely doesn't dispense pig food without... it's not a pig food dispensary, that's for sure. So we're going to put our equipment away just for the fun of it. lights are off. Alright, we're going to go over here and pick up our eggs. Hey Ethan, how you doing? Alright, we got our eggs done. Let's go here and we're going to run this back to the farm since we have a few minutes. Because we're going to need to pick some bales up before we mow some of the other grass around the farm. Dowlands, that was a contest map, wasn't it? If Dowlands was a contest map, then I'm pretty sure I did it. That's the one where you start out at the train station? So it's 11:07. We're going to keep an eye on that clock. I know it's been, I think it's the contest map, and I think it's been, I know it's been updated since the contest, but it would be in my best map playlist if it was a contest map. I've actually been thinking about moving the moving all of those videos over to the regular playlist, and then getting rid of the best map playlist. Oh, thanks for the sub, Ethan. Alright, so that's 42 bales. I would take you guys up to my bale stash point, but I don't think there's enough time to drive. We'll just where are we at? We'll just run up there. So, for all of those that haven't watched the contest stream recently, here's my current stash of silage bales. It's a little bit of a mess, but you see I've got quite the collection here. We're shooting for 1,000 bales by the end of autumn. I don't know if we're going to get there, but we will try our absolute darndest. So with that, we're going to save this. And we are going to skip the night. And let's take a look at our... Oh, what's that? 241. Now that is worth maybe thinking about something. So we sadly we ran out of manure, so our greenhouses didn't get us our full 27,000. Our vehicle running costs have steadied out at an 800 even. Rather interesting. We're probably going to get rid of this service trailer very soon, simply because we won't need to refuel anything, and we definitely don't need to service anything anymore. And that's the manure we had to buy. Let's see where our stats are. We have 1,755 bales. We made 98 today. So we're pretty darn close to that 1,000 goal, because I think we had 800 and some bales when we started year 3. So we're going to save the game here. We're going to quit out to the main screen. And Darren's saying that would make the computer chug. I guess you were talking about all those bales? It is a fair number, but thankfully I don't seem to have too much performance problem when I get up there. So hopefully the system's beefy enough to take care of that. So with that said, guys, we're going to close out the stream. And thank you guys for watching. We'll be back tomorrow at the same general time, 9:30 p.m. Eastern time, Eastern U.S. time, which I think is -5 GMT as far as the time zone. So we will be doing game day 5 of autumn. That means we have 8 days left. So my goal is to be done, just so put it on your calendars. We will be done on, I think, September 3rd. So let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yep. September 3rd will be the last episode of the challenge for me. So put it on your calendars. It's certainly going to be a episode not to miss to figure out what the grand total is. I am shooting for $6 million. So let's see if we can get there. So until next time, happy farming.